Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Okay, today's lesson we're going to do a lesson on solving algebraic fractions. Okay, these are the questions. First of all, we're going to have a look at now. The first question is 8 over x equals 32 over 36. Now, because we have a fraction and another fraction here, one quick way for us to get x to the top is to flip both sides. Okay, so now the equation becomes x over 8 . Okay, so this fractional equation here with the x on the bottom has now come to the top. By simple reversing of the fraction, top going to the bottom, bottom going to the top. Now, what we need to do, we need to make x the subject of the equation. So we are solving now, if you look over here, it says x divided by 8 is equal to 36 over 32. At the moment, leave that as it is. And the opposite of divide by 8 is time by 8. Okay. Now, if you look at this question here, we got 36 times by 8 over 32. We need to try to cancel it down. So we've got 8 and a 32. 8 divided by 8 is 1. 32 divided by 8 is 4. Now the 4 and the 36 can also simplify. So 4 divided by 4 is 1. 36 divided by 4 is 9. So now we're left with 9 times by 1, which is 9, over 1, which is still 9. So this is one style of equation where now this is one style of equation where we have fractions in it. There's another question over here which is 12 over 5x and 3 over 20. That one's done in a similar fashion. We'll give you a chance to do that in a bit when we stop the video. Okay, let's have a look at the next style of question where we have so in our first question, example number 1, we had x in the denominator position. Now we have an x here and an x here. So now we have two lots of x. Well, first of all, we need to get the x's together. So we need, and also always get x's out of the denominator. So the opposite of dividing by x minus 6 is timesing by x minus 6. So now we have x okay. So the opposite of dividing by x minus 6 is to bring up here and multiply by x. We must use brackets because the brackets indicate that this x is multiplied by everything inside. So now we need to release from the brackets. So that will give you x times by x is x squared. X times by minus 6. X times by minus 6 is minus 6x. So now if you look at this equation, what does this equation look like? This equation is beginning to look like a what? Like a quadratic equation. You've got the x squared term, you've got the linear term here, the minus 6x, and we've got the 27. The only thing that's needed now is to get the 27 on the same side. So now we have x squared minus 6x minus 27 is equal to 0. Okay, so this is a quadratic equation. So what started as a fraction has ended up as a quadratic equation. Now we should know how to deal with the quadratic equation. We need to factorize it. Okay, when we factorize a quadratic equation, we're going to find what two numbers multiply to give you minus 27. So we're now looking for the factors of minus 27. Okay, so minus 27 and two numbers are trying to give you minus 27 added to minus 6. So one must be a minus factor, one must be a positive factor. Because a minus times by a positive will give you a minus number. So we start with minus 3 and plus 9, or plus 3 and minus 9. It's important that we write both combinations because one of them will help us get the answer, another one will be, we will occasionally ignore it. Now, if I look at this one here, when I add these two up here, I get plus 6. When I add these two up, I get minus 6. So that's the correct one. That's the one we need. Okay. Now, plus 3 I put into here and minus 9 I put into here. Does it matter which one I put it into? No. Not for this kind of question. Not when we have x and x. If one was 2x, then it's important the order. But at the moment, plus 3 can go in any of these two positions, and the minus 9 can go in either here or there as well. That's all good. Okay. The question is here, we are solving. So not only have you rearranged it, multiplied it out, rearranged it again, factorized it, now we have to solve it. To solve a quadratic equation, we need to factorize it first. It's equal to 0. Okay, equal to 0 is important. So we're saying either this bracket, because nothing times by this number will give you nothing, or if this is 0 times by this number will give you 0. So what we do here, we say let each bracket equal 0. So if x at 3 is nothing, opposite of at 3 is. So this here is now one of the solutions to this quadratic equation. Similarly for this one, x, if let x minus 9 equals 0, so opposite of minus 9 is plus 9, x is equal to plus 9. Okay. Okay. Right. X plus 3. Right. I think the solutions have gone off the bottom of the board. I'm going to rub them off without moving. Okay. So I'll write over here. Opposite add 3 is minus 3. Opposite of minus 9 is add 9. So these two are my solutions to this equation. So two different types of equation. Example number 1 is here, and this is example number 2. Cater for two different styles of question. Here we turn the fraction upside down, both sides, rearranging it, simplifying it. Here we taking the bottom to the top, multiplying out, becoming quadratic equation, factorizing, solving. A lot has to be done to this kind of question to get the answer right. Okay, I'm going to do one of each type of question. Right, next question now. I need to drop this board off. Don't worry, when you're watching the video, you can pause the video, you can rewind the video, and you can go back and look at the example again. Okay, let's have a look at the next style of question. The next style of question is similar to one we just done. but there's one extra bit in it. Example number 3 is style number 3 really. So this is the third style of question. Now in this question here we have 3 items. We have x over 2 as one item, the number 2 as a second item, and this as a third item. Okay, now we have to deal with this in quite a different way to before. So now, first of all, we do not want any x items in the bottom. X on top is good, getting x's together is good, but that x on the bottom is no good. Having the 2 on the bottom as well, that's also no good. We need to get rid of these 2's and x. So, how do we eliminate a 2 and an x? If you want to eliminate a 2 and an x from the denominator, we have to multiply each item by 2x. So 2 and x. So the lowest common multiple of 2x is 2x. 2 and x, multiply them together. So what we're going to do now, we're going to multiply each item by 2x to eliminate the 2 item and the x. And this is a very powerful way of getting rid of the fraction, the denominators quickly in one go. So this 2 here will eliminate that 2 by simplifying. So divide that by 2, divide that by 2. This x and that x, this x here will eliminate this one because we've got here 16 times by 2 times by x. So divide this one by x, divide that by x. So now the denominators have completely gone and the question will come to the top now. So we can now multiply the rest. We have x times by x is x squared. We have 2 times by 2x, which is 4x. And then we have 16 times by 2, which is 32. Okay? Now, this again, as the previous question, looks more like a quadratic equation, but things are in the wrong place. So let's move the things around. So let's move this item this way. So you end up with x squared minus 4x minus 32. Now x squared minus 4x minus 32, let's look at this kind of question. Let's see if you can factorize it. Not all the questions that you'll get, you'll be able to factorize. Now if you get the question on paper 2, which is the calculated paper, and it says give the answer to 2 significant figures, you know straight away you have to use the quadratic equation. We don't know at the moment in this kind of question. Right, so we're looking for the factors of minus 32. 2 numbers that multiply give you minus 32, but when you add them it gives you minus 4. So minus 32 okay. Minus 32 is made up of minus 4 times by plus 8. Why do I have 2 different signs? To get a negative answer, one must be minus, one must be plus. So I've just reversed it, turned the minus one into plus to give me 2 different answers. Now I need a minus 4 when I add. So this one will give me plus 4. That's no good. That's the one that we need. Remember when you're solving, this must be equal to 0. Okay, so our normal template is this. When you factorize that, the answer will have this kind of format. Now we can get our numbers plus 4, park 1 here, minus 8, park there. Does it matter if I put the plus 4 here? No, it doesn't. Does it matter if I put the minus 8 here? No, it doesn't. In this kind of question where here you have 1 here and 1 there, it doesn't matter. The order. So similar to the previous question, we have to make, in order to make this balance, one of these brackets must be equal to 0 because a 0 times by another number gives you 0. So we say let x plus 4 equals 0 or x minus 8 equals 0. So if x add 4 is nothing, opposite add 4 is minus 4, opposite of minus 8 is plus 8. Okay, and that will give us now the solution to this type of question. So this type of question, we've had to eliminate the x from the bottom. We do not want x on the bottom. We don't like fractions in the question either. So we got rid of the divide by 2 part and the divide by x by working on the LCM of 2x, which was 2x. So then the technique was for each item, this is an item, this is an item, that's an item, that's an item, to multiply each item by 2x. That way the equation stays the same. As it says, what we do to one item, we do the second item. So the 2 here helps cancel that one out. This one we just multiply it out, there's no cancelling happening here. But here the x gets cancelled with that one. And that's done the job for us. All the fractional part, the denominator part has gone. No fractions left. We rearrange it, becomes a quadratic equation. We use the techniques of factorizing, factorize it, and then we use the techniques of solving it. So there's multi-step question. Okay, so that's another style of question. Okay, so whenever you have any items on the bottom, multiply everything by that item or the LCM of the item. Okay, let's move on to the next type of question. Okay, that's right. Just trying to reduce the glare on the board. Just give me a moment. Okay, come on, this example off now. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Right. Okay. Okay, I think from the questions we have done, we have really attacked all kinds of the questions I want to do with in this one session. Okay. I think now it's time for you to try some questions. Okay, if you can see these questions, these are the questions that we have. Okay, so these are the questions that I would like you to practice. Okay, that's page 1. This is page 2. Okay, and this one here, last one here, is page 3. So when you're watching this video, you can pause it at any time on the screen and you can copy down the questions and then you could do the questions. Okay, well, that's the end of this short video. Hopefully you can try some of the questions, and in the second part of the video we'll go through some of the answers.